Welcome, everyone. This is 5 Round MMA. My name is Alex Morales. Alongside with my co-host, Albert Cita. And we're waiting on a phone call from Mr. Guillermo Cita from the happiest place on earth, Orlando, Florida. But if he doesn't call, it's all right. We'll just pretend he's here in the air, right?
Spirit.
In spirit. Albert, so Super Bowl predictions.
I really don't care. If there's a way where they can disqualify both teams, I would prefer that. But by default, I'm going for the Eagles. Just because I dislike the Patriots that much. And I think the rest of the country feels the same way.
I'm getting that vibe from everyone, not even non-football fans.
If you're not from Boston, I think you're going for the Eagles.
I love that transition. Speaking of Boston, UFC 220 took place this weekend. We're going to talk about that, the recap. Stipe Miocic's epic performance, quote unquote. DC retaining the title. Also look back at Bellator 192 in LA, and also talk about McGregor being stripped, not being stripped the title. We'll see that, and also preview this upcoming UFC fight night. So I'll get the timer started. Round number 1, please. UFC 220 took place this past Saturday. Stipe Miocic in the main event defeated Francis Ngannou to a unanimous decision victory. It was like 50-44 or something like that. All 3 judges had it that way.
Yeah, it was pretty lopsided.
So Stipe had a pretty solid game plan, right? Just ground and pound, smother Francis Ngannou. Okay, but I asked you, Albert, he won the fight. But did he win over any fans with that game plan? Or did he lose fans? Did he lose fans?
The only thing I took out of it that I guess if you want to give Stipe a cool factor is that he didn't let Dana White put the belt on him.
That was pretty
because leading up to this whole thing, it has been the Ngannou show. Yeah. Even though he wasn't the champion, Stipe, I don't even remember seeing one big promo for him or any real push.
No.
As far as showing Stipe in the light. But with that said, I think that's the only cool moment he did. He didn't help himself the way he beat Ngannou. It was not exciting. And I might catch some heat for this, but I honestly felt like he was the poor man's Cain Velasquez on that night. I'm pretty sure Cain Velasquez can do it way better than he could and more entertaining than he could. The way. Just to wrestle a guy down.
Yeah, Joe Rogan had kind of pointed that out too. I think he was leaning towards it without being so obvious by saying this is exactly what Cain Velasquez would have done.
But better.
Some people would argue that Cain Velasquez probably would have got
with more power.
Cain Velasquez probably would have got a finish right in this maybe second or third round maybe. I'm leaning towards. I like Stipe. He's a little goofy. I like him. I like the fact that he stood up to Dana White because
did he win fans?
No, he didn't win fans. I think. Obviously, it's a heavyweight. It's the heavyweights they're expecting to knock out, and this is a guy Stipe who has knockout power. But at the end, you can't really blame him for being so scared of Francis Ngannou. But yeah, I think actually, if people are gonna dig deep into it, I think he probably gained some fans by dissing Dana White at the end. And there's a whole bunch of memes out there of Dana White just fake, just looking dejected and like completely like. PO'd, pissed off that Stipe was doing this to Francis Ngannou.
What's funny, it kind of feels like Dana White was shocked that he did that. It's like, dude, it's clear that you and Stipe don't get along, and it's clear that you weren't trying to promote him, you're trying to promote Ngannou.
Yeah.
For crying out loud, we have a novice fan, I guess you can say, and one of our friends, Joel, who went with us. And he was pumped about Ngannou without even knowing who he was.
Just the promo, right?
The promo and the way they were selling him, and that shows you. And even after the fight, he was not. There's nothing really to be like.
This is his first time seeing the quote unquote baddest man on the planet, and he wasn't impressed. So I want to kind of stick with Francis here. I again want to place blame on Sean Shelby and Dana White too much too soon in the vein of Yair Rodriguez. You know, they thought Yair was good enough, so they made an event against Frankie Edgar. Look what happened to his eye. He's still healing up. Francis maybe could have beaten Stipe, but I think it was a little too much too soon. And look what happened now. People are making fun of him. There's a bunch of memes of him not doing cardio. Brendan Schaub is calling him out now too. Did you see Brendan Schaub on Twitter?
He's the last person to call out any heavyweight.
He's all like, I think he said,
that's Travis Brownie, bro.
Yeah, he's like, I think, they don't train wrestling and cardio at the UFC complex or something like that.
Well,
so
guess
like,
what? Now they are.
Okay. So I think obviously he's not going to go anywhere. Francis is going to probably go back, maybe get the winner of the Derek Lewis fight. I think it's a little too much too soon for Francis. We'll see how it goes out. And Stipe, I think now, what's next for him? Cain Velasquez, if we can stay healthy?
I think that's the dream scenario. It's to have Cain Velasquez in there and give Stipe a good run for his money and show him how the real ground and pound is done in the heavyweight division. But I will say this before we end on this subject. I don't blame the matchup that much just because it's the heavyweight division and who else? Like,
Yeah.
there's everyone has beat everyone that at this point it's tough to just keep putting the same names in that position. So I don't blame it too much just because of what division it is. But I do agree that it was a wasted of a good star. I think Ngannou's stock drops just a little, but
Yeah, especially in the eyes of the fans. Now they got. At first, they didn't have any leverage to make fun of him. Now they're making fun of him. I've seen so many like cardio joke
by
memes now.
those to his face.
Exactly, but still, I mean, like, now when you get a meme out of you like that, now you're just kind of like, come on, guy. So, we got Raw 25 coming on. Scott Hall just came out. That's kind of cool.
Oh man,
I'm a little
Scott Hall
distracted.
is the coolest.
or actually, quote unquote, Razor Ramon they had on the lower third right there. That's not Scott Hall. It's Razor
Razor
Ramon.
Ramon.
Yeah, so we'll see. I think Francis. He'll be back, and for Stipe, obviously, I'm more interested in the battle between him and Dana White than
I
anything
think you
else.
should take some tips from DC how to get over.
Yeah, and also congratulations to Stipe on being a father. So congrats to him. That's it for round number one. Stick around for round number two. We're going to talk about the co-main event. Daniel Cormier defeating Vulcan was second round TKO. But before this, give a shout out to the Dose Leprechauns podcast. Our good friend Jason Hendricks and his son Nate Hendricks. The Dose Leprechauns talk about all things Notre Dame football, college, sports in general, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts. It's all there. Great interviews as well. Check out the Dose Leprechauns on all forms of social media. And they do a Facebook Live show every weekend. That's Dose Leprechauns podcast. Look them up. Tell them 5 Round MMA sent you. Round 2 coming up next. Welcome back. Time for round number 2 in the co-main event for UFC 220. Daniel Cormier retained his light heavyweight title via second round. I think TKO. Or is it second round TKO?
Yeah, second round TKO.
Against Vulcan. I'm going to butcher his last name, but you guys know who I'm talking about, Mr. Vulcan. It was, I guess, a competitive fight the first 30 seconds of the first round, and then once DC got his hands on him, it was pretty much it. Dominant win by DC, but Albert, were you impressed by it?
It really does suck the position that DC's in because it's one of those like he was expected to win and he was expected to win the way he won.
He delivered and we're all disappointed.
Yeah, and then it's weird because it's like was I impressed? Was I shocked? No, because he was supposed to win and he was supposed to win like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's no way you can't say DC is not the greatest light heavyweight right now. And it just, I don't know, he's in a weird situation.
Yeah.
Because we all know how good he is, and we expect that from him, and nothing else.
Yeah. Actually, I think he's also in a weird spot, too, where I don't know if it's just him or the division to blame, but I'm not too sure if I would pay to watch
John
DC.
Jones is the one to blame. Let's keep it real.
Like, let's
don't
say
division, it's John Jones.
If it wasn't, if let's say if the main event was DC versus Vulcan and the heavyweight bout wasn't on there, would you dish out $55 to watch it?
I would not. I would probably pitch in. I'll probably text you guys and tell you guys better pitch in $5 for this fight.
Yeah, it's just like it's not a knock on DC, or maybe it is. I don't know, but he's not.
And at the same time, you're only as good as your dance partner.
Yeah,
and I think it's funny because they're trying to bill Vulcan as this young guy in the light heavyweight division. He's 28 years old.
Yeah,
sure, that's young.
He looked like class.
It just there wasn't enough sauce on that title shot. I understand that he just had a big impressive win against Jimmy Manawan, but I don't know. I didn't feel the hype at all.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it has to do with it. But you're only as good as your dancing partner. I mean, the only other person I can think of that didn't matter who you match him up with and you would pay for it's Anderson Silva.
Yeah.
But it's because he had those spectacular finishes.
People want to see what he's going to do next.
But other than that, I mean, you could have booked, any of the big names, but if the dancing partner ain't good.
Yeah. I also think what also hurts DC is that he always brings up John Jones. No matter what, like that when he was on his knees, like I felt like a champion because like he said something like he felt like he was fighting.
Can't get past that shadow.
But he almost brings it on himself. Like I'm gonna use a wrestling analogy here, right? Back when WWE was conquering the world, they would never mention a wrestler's past, right? Whenever he came in, he was brand new. The outside world did not exist. Because like, why are you giving these other promotions, publicity?
Yeah.
And every time Daniel Cormier talks about John Jones, he's making him relevant. Yeah, and then of course John Jones sends out a tweet, and the tweet goes viral because like he says something, the best is yet to come. So like again, you just put you put John Jones in their mind again. Again, when you're trying to sell yourself, sell this division, if anything, John Jones doesn't deserve any of that. He doesn't even deserve to be mentioned on UFC TV, but yet you keep mentioning him. You keep talking about this guy over your head. Just plow through the division. Don't mention him. He doesn't exist anymore in the octagon, in the UFC. Make it that way.
In attention, we don't even know if John Jones is going to come back.
And this whole polygraph test. People are saying, polygraph tests aren't even evidence for criminal cases anymore. So how are we supposed to believe John Jones passed it? Prove they didn't take steroids.
Exactly. I see. What's that movie with Christian Bell where he
Harsh Times.
Harsh Times.
Yeah, tacking his toe on his shoes.
I can see him trying to figure it out.
Anyways, okay. So what's next for Daniel Cormier? Should he stay at light heavyweight or move to back up to heavyweight?
Again, I think he just like Stephen. It's the division itself. It's everyone has beat everyone. And it's just to read off, if you take Volkan out of the top 5, right?
Yeah.
Alexander Gustafsson, who DC has already beat. Glover Teixeira's stock is at all-time low. Yeah. Jimmy Manuwa just got knocked out by Volkan.
Yeah.
Alvin St. Pierre come out. It's very tough to name a next opponent in this light heavyweight division. And I think by default, it has to be the Alexander Gustafsson rematch.
Yeah.
By default.
Yeah.
But am I excited about it? Do I think that's what should happen? No, but by default, that's the only name that pops out.
Yeah, I think the only thing really and I
don't see him going to heavyweight knowing that Cain Velasquez is coming back.
Yeah, it's the only thing that's gonna happen is like one of his best friends is gonna come back anytime soon now. So what if he were to get matched up against Stipe and he wins? Then what? He's not gonna fight. He's not gonna fight Cain Velasquez. So if it was his boy Luke Rockhold or ex-boy, he'd probably call him out. But maybe that's what it is. Maybe Rockhold defeats Yoel Romero, title versus title. He goes up to 205 because they're not boys anymore, right?
Yoel Romero's pretty small.
Okay, no, I mean Rockhold goes up there. What if Rockhold beats Romero?
Rockhold could be the savior of
that's drama right there.
I'll pay for that.
Maybe Demi Lovato come in the corner room, right? Or no, they're not together anymore. That's it for round number 2. We're going to switch gears and talk about Bellator 192. Bellator and the Forum. Do not go anywhere. Round 3 come up next. Welcome back. Let's switch gears. Talk about Bellator's 192 event. It also took place on Saturday.
Red King,
Bellator,
his crown.
Bellator LA, or just Bellator 192 is official. The record books. Main evented. Chael Sonnen defeats Rampage Jackson to advance to the heavyweight Grand Prix. Co-main event, Rory McDonald finally wins gold and defeats Douglas Lima via a decision. I believe it was a unanimous decision, but he took a hell of a beating. All the photos were him in the hospital bed or in a stretcher going to the hospital.
Oh my gosh! His shin was disgusting.
It just like he just looked like a wreck.
My shins were hurting when I was looking at it.
Can this guy can he just win a fight without getting beat up? He takes a beating like nobody I can never seen in mixed martial arts. So he finally wins gold. His promo was cold and calculated, I would say. Not
true Rory McDonald fashion.
Not the most charismatic man in the building. But can he... Whenever you talk about Bellator, it's never about the current champions.
No.
Do you think Rory McDonald can change that conversation? It's always about who's Chael, Fedor, Tito, this weird Grand Prix thing. But can they now maybe focus the attention to the champions? Can Rory McDonald lead that conversation or no?
Again, just like our previous 2 rounds, it's there's no dance partners at that welterweight division. I mean, you can run that Douglas Lima matchup again, and I wouldn't even be mad at the running back.
Yeah,
but he already tore against the top tier. Lawrence Larkin, if he gets an impressive win, that could be the best scenario.
Yeah.
Because that's a fresh matchup, even though Lawrence Larkin's lost to Paul Daly. Even though I think Paul Daly got a good shot in, and it wasn't looking like he was going to win if he didn't land that shot.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion. You can take it for what it's worth. But that's the best case scenario, I think, is if Larkin gets an impressive finish with his matchup coming up. And then they'll have a fresh matchup. But if not, I honestly think you got to run back that Douglas Lima match, especially how well it played out.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking too, you got Michael Venom Page out there, but I don't know if Bellator wants to squash that, because that's kind of another star they have out there.
And I think there's more money in that to give him the Paul Daly fight. I think the Page and Paul Daly fight is one of those, I think, the more for the fans, which Scott Crooker tends to like to do.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't get mad at that either.
What I was hoping, honestly, what I told you when we were watching it, after they announce the winner, the lights go out, music plays, and it's Ben Askren coming down the ramp.
No.
But Scott Croker, I don't think. I think there might be some hope there because Askren left under the Bjorn Rebney regime. So
I will pay a Bellator pay-per-view if it's Warren McDonald versus Ben Askren.
I would actually maybe buy a ticket if it was anywhere in my area to watch that main event. If I can't get a press passes, thanks a lot, Bellator. Anyways, yeah, I think we'll see. Hopefully, like I said, it's the dance partners. Let's switch to the main event now. Chael Sonnen defeats Rampage Jackson in a typical Chael Sonnen fashion. Cuts a mean-ass promo at the end. Excuse my language.
One of the best promos.
But the performance and the presentation get you hyped up for the Grand Prix.
Honestly,
having them run down that ramp like that?
I think the best person Bellator can sign was Chael Sonnen.
Yeah.
They needed Chael Sonnen. I think he looked amazing in the fight. His stand-up was amazing. His wrestling, of course, was amazing. And then he cuts one of the best promos I heard in like 2 years.
Calls out Fedor.
Yeah, and he calls out Fedor. I think that's exactly what Bellator needed and the Grand Prix needed. Because now I'm excited for the Grand Prix tournament. Now I'm excited to see
Fedor versus Frank Mir
because I wasn't before, and now I'm actually excited to see Fedor win.
Yeah,
because I want to see the matchup against Chael Sonnen. I want to see how this plays out now. I hope everybody stays healthy, and I'm actually pumped. And I wasn't pumped before. I was kind of like, okay, you guys got a bunch of light heavyweights versus a bunch of heavyweights.
Yeah,
that's all I saw. But now I'm pretty excited.
Leave it to Chael Sonnen to sell some ketones too.
That's why they pay him.
And a Rampage or something afterwards, like, oh, respected Chael, but he fought like a little bitch.
I don't know.
I fought like a man.
I don't know about that.
I mean, come on.
His boxing was so clean.
Yeah.
I think Chael Sonnen was lighting him up, standing up, and he took some shots from Rampage, which I was very stunned that he was able to take some.
And it's also like, dude, like, you know what you had in store. I mean, come on, Rampage. And Rampage is here. He has more fights in him, so I'm sure Bellator will find something for him to do.
Just so you know, I think the Rampage weighed in at 254 pounds.
I don't think he's walked in.
Oh my!
He just walked in the scale and just I'm here to fight, right?
Swollen.
Yeah, I still want to know where Ken Shamrock has an alternate.
As an alternate.
Because so far they're keeping
Congo and somebody else was named the alternate.
Are they keeping that list a secret or what?
No. They already announced it.
Okay.
It was Czech Congo and somebody else. I forget. I think it was Avery or someone.
Wasn't it Jack Swagger?
Imagine.
That's it for round number 3. We're going to take a small break and come back and enter the championship rounds. And I want to get your thoughts on Dana White not uttering the words Conor McGregor is stripped of his title. Why is he not saying that? Don't go anywhere. Come up next. Welcome back. Time for round number 4. Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson is set for this April. I think UFC 223. I think I'm going off of my memory. For what Dana White said, quote, the real lightweight title, but yet when pressed by a hard-nosed journalist named Ariel Helwani, what does this mean for Conor McGregor?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It means nothing.
Well, Mr. Dana White, why don't you just say it? Say the words Conor McGregor strip. What did Dana White say at the press conference? Next question, please. Just say it. Just say it, man. Just say it. Conor McGregor is stripped. Will not say it. You think if it was Ariel Helwani, if it was somebody else who would have asked the question maybe a little more nicely? Or because Ariel Helwani? Because I know he's still banned, right, from all UFC.
I want to give it 60% Ariel and 40%
Dana White just being a dick.
Dana White loving Conor McGregor like the rest of us.
Yeah. So, okay, why won't he say it? Why your theory? I heard some theories, pretty interesting theories online. One had to do with the EA Sports game.
Yeah.
One had to do with the Russia event coming up next, why he won't officially say he's stripped. Why do you think he won't say it?
In all honesty, the main reason he doesn't want to say it is to upset Conor McGregor. I think they're still trying to work out. I honestly think they're still trying to work out a deal.
Yeah.
And by him doing that, I think he probably thinks he's like wrecking the deal or maybe somehow upsetting Conor McGregor. And they're probably very close to getting the deal done, and he just doesn't want to put any salt in the wound. I think they got so far into the negotiation that he was fine with Khabib and Tony fighting. And he said, oh, sure, then I'll just fight the winner.
Yeah.
They're that close, but he hasn't officially, finished the contract that he doesn't want to say anything upset. I honestly, that's what I honestly
It's not
believe.
real if you don't say it, right?
Yeah.
If you don't say it, it's not real. Yeah, I think it's... I want to think it's more than that, but maybe it's business side. But
I can already hear Dana White as soon as he announces Conor McGregor back. I never said he was stripped. I never once said that.
Which is true, he never did. I just said the fight for the real title. This is the real title. This is the 2 best lightweights ever fighting. So some theories say that because I guess Conor McGregor's on the new EA Sports game, EA UFC, that he has 2 titles over his shoulder. So I guess maybe pressure from the video game Mega Boss saying, hey, you know what? We want Conor McGregor to be recognized as a champion, even though he's not.
The only thing that annoys me about this whole situation is it's very WWE. Like,
It is,
like
right?
when does the belt matter?
Have a ladder match.
in a combat sport. When does
Yeah.
the belt really matter? If you're the baddest man or you're the baddest person in that division, like who cares? Like it's like the whole John Jones things when he was stripped of the belt, but everyone's like, come on,
Yeah.
sure he's stripped from the belt, but we all know who the champion is. We all know who's the best one in the division.
And it's almost like now like there's like with all these super fights and champion for champion, the belts mean even less now. It's more like
Yeah.
boxing. They're just kind of like a decoration. Well, it's not even decoration because they can't even walk out with them anyways, right? And now the fighters are saying they don't want even Dana White to put the belt around me. So it's kind of like, what's there left to do now? Like you said,
And this goes back to like one of my original gripes about this whole championship thing. They need to put it on paper. If you do not defend your title in 6 months, it's an interim.
Yeah.
If you not defend your title in a year, you relinquish the belt automatically. It should be on paper in writing. There's no questions. There's no controversy. Look, you didn't make the deadline. You stripped, but no one's saying you can't come back and get your belt back.
That's
but
true.
They should do it 6 months, interim, a year, no belt.
it's completely ridiculous.
It's that simple, and that's and this is the irritating part about UFC that wants to be like the MLB, NBA. They got nothing written.
We're
down.
not like boxing.
Yeah,
You know?
they
Our
need to-
champions fight. They defend their belt, which is so weird. It's kind of like this bromance between McGregor and Dana White, like the greatest thing ever, man. Like I will never betray him. I won't say it, McGregor. I won't say it because I don't want you to get hurt. But I mean, this is at the end of the day, it took away from Tony and Khabib because
Yeah.
at the end of the press conference, people were talking about why isn't he stripped? Why didn't he say it? That was a big takeaway. Not the smack talk between Tony, who are arguably the two best lightweights on the planet right now, and nobody's talking about him anymore.
But you know what's the crazy part too? I still feel that only the hardcore fans are looking for this fight.
Yeah.
I think if you go talk to the casual combat sport fan, they would know who they are, but they wouldn't be pumped.
Yeah.
I think only the hardcore fans are still pumped over this fight, and I think Dana White could have helped with it by saying no, this is for the undisputed belt.
Yeah.
And then added some drama. Oh, what? They took it away from Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
I think maybe a little bit more people would have tuned in because I really do think this is a fans fight still.
Yeah, I also think the co-main event's going to be Rose Namajunas against Joanna Jędrzejczyk in a rematch. So that is even kind of another hardcore fans fight. So interesting to see how they stack up the undercard on this one, but we'll see. I mean, just say it, Dana. Just say it. That's all I'm saying. That's it for round number 4. We got one more round coming next. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, 5th and final round this Saturday, or is it this Saturday? Yeah, the 27th of January.
You are correct.
UFC on Fox, Jacare versus Brunson 2, brought to you from the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Crucial middleweight matchup, I guess. Would you say?
I want to say
Question mark? Important match?
title eliminator. I'm willing to say title eliminator, even though we haven't seen
They all-
Jacare in a while.
Yeah.
And Jacare's coming off a loss against the current champion Robert Whittaker. So it's tough to for me to say, but in all reality, it really is a title eliminator. Derek Brunson has been able to rebound since his 2 losses against Robert Whittaker and Anderson Silva, but I still think he needs one more fight to be a title contender.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm gonna say this is a title eliminator. And so it is big. I think the winner out of here will face the champion.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a rough card, too. Co-main events, Dennis Bermudez versus Andre Fili. Other than that, I got Bobby Green versus Eric Koch, which should be a good
Our
one.
boy, Bobby Green.
Ronda Marcos is on here against Juliana Lima. Yeah, interesting fight card. I think I agree with you. Title eliminator. This has the way it goes. I think if Derek Brunson wins, it has to be a pretty impressive fashion for him to be considered a title shot. I think if Jacare wins any fashion, he's probably no more contender. And is it kind of weird how now we're in the post Michael Bisping era, like all these the chips are falling right in place where they're supposed to be, like all the top,
It's almost like
all
we
the contenders
we
are getting
hit
back.
pause,
Yeah,
And then now we're resuming what should have
it's supposed to be.
taken place.
Everybody's back to the rightful spot. It's just kind of like, Jacare is one shot away from a title fight. Robert Whittaker, who I think is like in the hospital now, right? It's like an internal staph infection, I heard.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
So, I mean, who knows? He could be out for a while now. But, I mean, yeah, we'll see. We're in the post-Michael Bisping era, post-GSP era, as long as it lasted.
Technically, this is one of the more exciting weight classes. We still, in the corners, we still have Kevin Gastelum.
Yeah.
Chris Weidman still in the mix. And we got David Branch. I don't want people to forget about David Branch. All right, he lost to Luke Rockhold, but he still was a 2 division champion in World Series of Fighting. So it's an exciting. It's still an exciting division. So. I think it's going to amp up.
And also the week after, we're going to stick with it. We got Little Machida versus Eric Anders on there as well. Machida, who's always just one punch away from being back at the title. And then you got Eric Anders, who called him out specifically. He is the former football player who is still kind of, I guess he feels he has he's 10-0, so he feels he has at least one solid run on him, right? So
you know what's funny? He actually has been popping up on my stuff saying like fighters to watch for in 2018.
Hey, he could have one solid year, man. You never know. So, but we'll preview that more in depth next week. As of right now, what else you want to talk about on this card? Dennis Bermudez?
Yeah, I mean, Dennis Bermudez, featherweight division. I think that division is now an open division.
Yeah.
But what's more important is Dennis Bermudez can't get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
I think it's a blessing that he's still in the co-main event. But if he loses, I think he's gonna get lost in that shuffle, and you're gonna see him in UFC Fight Pass pretty soon. And he's going up against I guess the hottest alpha male right now because he has a win.
I'll ask about that too.
And he also has the win that he got was from Conor McGregor's boy,
Artem Lobov,
who before had some hype behind him going into that fight. So maybe it is I think it's a co-main event worthy as far as a free event, because at the same time Dennis is not trying to get lost in the shuffle, and I think Andre Fili's trying to rise to the top.
It's almost too like with Andre Fili, it's like just because he's associated with alpha males, that's why he's kind of like there, because he's altered wins and losses like almost his whole entire UFC career. So it's like this guy cannot get any form of consistency at all. But the fact that he's with alpha males and he might have somebody cool in his corner,
and the alpha males need a big break.
They do.
We haven't seen a good alpha male win in a while.
Well, they had was it Josh Emmett who knocked out Ricardo Lamas, but
yes.
So they're going there.
That was 2017 though. 2018.
It's been a dry spell for 2018. Speaking of dry spell, if you guys are watching the Raw 25th anniversary, Brock Lynch just came out and just F5'd Kane here. So former UFC heavyweight champion. You think he could be coerced to come out and fight Stipe?
Dude, I would pay so much money to see Brock versus Stipe, and I would bet on Brock. I think Brock can beat him.
That's it for this week's show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 5roundmma. It's FIVE Round MMA. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Podomatic, and YouTube. And also visit 5roundmma.com. Also, we have if you're interested in sponsoring this podcast, please send us the email at 5roundmma@gmail.com. We got a bunch of different tiers we can offer you to get on it. This is the hottest thing going, 5 Round MMA. Get on it now before it's too late and this train just takes off. I mean, I toot my own horn, man, but toot, 5 Round MMA. Sponsorship inquiries. Albert, what do you got?
How is it that WWE has had 25 years to try to get Raw right and they still haven't done it? What a boring 25th Raw episode.
Disappointing.